PRs and citizens this way, visitors this way. I went this way. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious. If you're new here, if you're seeing this gorgeous face for the first time, please ensure not to make it your last, okay, by clicking on that subscribe button, giving this video a big thumbs up, sharing it, and doing the good things, I guess. So yeah, today's video, don't mind this hair, it's going to be distracting us a lot, I can tell already. In today's video, I'll be giving you guys my landing gist, how I landed through Montreal as my first port of entry to Canada till when I got to my final destination, which was Calgary. So yeah, if you see me looking down, I wrote down some things, so I will be looking just so I can give you guys the real information, like everything without forgetting anything, you get me? Yeah, so honestly, I don't know how this video is going to turn out because I don't have my ring lights here. Like, I'm filming with natural lights, which I haven't done in a very long time. I don't have any artificial lights whatsoever. I just hope the video is very clear for you guys to watch and enjoy, obviously. And secondly, I've been doing this over and over again because it keeps cutting me off and telling me storage full, so I don't even know how this thing is going to turn out. I just hope you guys really enjoyed this video, okay? Let's jump right into the video. I left Nigeria on the 3rd of May 2022. It was a Muslim holiday, I suppose. Yeah, so I went through Port Harcourt because that's where my family is, so I just wanted to go from there. Initially, I used to stay in Lagos. If you've been watching my video, you know all these details. Anyways, moving forward, I decided to go via Qatar Airways. So I booked my flight ticket while I was still in Lagos, and I was told that I should ensure I get to the airport 4 hours before check-in starts, before my flight time. Yeah, I should go to the airport 4 hours before then. So I and my family left the house at about past 10 to go to the airport. So if you don't know, Port Harcourt airport is quite far. It's not in the town, it's at Omagua, but I don't know how my dad was able to maneuver. He sure took another route that I'm not used to. So in less than an hour, in less than 30 minutes, we're already at the airport. So we got to the airport by 11. So when I wanted to like go into the airport to start checking in and everything, they said I should hold on, that check-in for Qatar Airways starts at 1 p.m. Wow. I'm like, okay, no problem. We had to now stay like outside the airport. They had chairs, obviously, few chairs. So we sat down there. We're still like doing final bonding, gisting, taking pictures and all that good stuff. Then before we knew it, it was 1 o'clock. So they said only those traveling should come forward. So when I went forward with my luggages, my luggages here, they sanitized it, asked me for my COVID vaccine, if I'm fully vaccinated. So yeah, I gave her my COVID the card. So the lady was like, I just took only 1 dose. I say yes, because according to Canadian COVID rules, if you take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you don't need to take it twice. 1 dose is enough. So I think the other person that was beside her told her yes, that I'm right. So apparently she doesn't know her job so well. So they allowed me pass. No, then they checked on, they had a list of those traveling, like the, what they call that thing now, like a manifest, yeah, kind of. So they took my passport to cross-check that my name was on the manifest. So when they saw it, they now let me into the airport. So immediately I entered the airport, I put my luggages in that machine to scan it. Then I walked into the airport. My sister followed me because only me could not carry all those things. They were quite much. So they allowed her. I think she acted like she was traveling, yeah. So they allowed her enter. Then the next thing I went to, because once you get in, and you turn to your right, you see the Agric people over there. So the next thing, like, I should come. Sorry, before when we came, we saw a trolley outside, which I used to carry my things. So my things were on the trolley till they allowed us to get into the airport. So immediately I entered the airport, one boy just came from nowhere. I'm supposed to pay 500 naira for the trolley. I'm like, okay, no problem, because at the time I was already getting tents and everything. So I told him no problem, I'll give him. Let me just sort out this thing with these Agric people. Then I went over to the Agric people. They searched my bag and everything and asked me to tip them, obviously. So I was like, I don't have cash on me. They're like, you're really traveling with a lot of things, so am I sure you will not just find us something? You're leaving the country, you're leaving us here. Bless your people now. So I don't have cash. So the guy, one of them, the guy was like, when the machine was scanning my stuff, that he saw something. Apparently, we were talking about palm oil. So I pretended like I didn't know what he was talking about. So anyways, he searched my bag again, then brought out the palm oil. And you guys, this palm oil was frozen, because from past experience, it's always advisable to freeze your palm oil, right? Wrap it, hide it, that way you can pass with it. And I did all of that, yet this machine was still able to expose me. Anyway, so the guy took the palm oil. I was like, he has seized it, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, my family is still outside, right? So can I just give it to them? He said no, that if I want to give it back to my family, I have to give him money, like I have to pay. I'm like, pay to take it with me or pay to drop it with my family? He was like, pay so you can give it back to me to give it to my family. I'm like, in that case, bro, you can keep it. You can keep it at this point. How much did I buy the palm oil? Please, I beg, rest. Anyways, I moved to where you have the Qatar booth to check in. Then the trolley boy was still following me, and I paid him his money. He left. Then when I went to weigh my bags, it was weighing 25 kg each, and you are allowed to take only 23 kg each. I knew that. I knew my bag was 26, 25 because I already weighed it at home, and it was saying that. But I felt I'll be able to like maneuver it, I don't know, like tip or something, because people have been doing these things now. I won't be the first. So the girl was like, I have to take off some things. It has to be 23 kg, da da da. So I started removing things and everything. Then I will go back to the scale, weigh. It was still not up to. I kept doing that for over an hour, you guys. Then finally it was like 23 point something. So the girl said no, that it has to be 23 at the dot, like on the dot. I'm like, but you allowed people pass with 23 point something right before my very eyes. And she was like, no, what am I talking about? And she didn't let anybody pass. I said, okay, nobody, no problem. Calm, tranquility, breathe. Canada is the goal, just endure. I said, no wahala. I went back, reweighed, removed, reweighed. So it was finally 23 kg. And mind you, where they won't even let you stay by the scale to remove your things. You have to go like back, at the back will tell you stay behind this line a bit what. So it was stressful, you guys. It was not even easy. So we finally got 23 kg. Then time for my hand luggage. I felt, oh, okay, hand luggage now. Even with local flights, they are not strict with hand luggage, right? I had a small box. Then I had my school bag and a handbag. This girl was like, my hand luggage has to be 7 kg. I'm like, are you kidding me? She said, yes, it has to be 7 kg. That's the rule. I said, okay. I started dropping things. So I dropped my school bag, dropped my handbag, dropped a lot of things. In the process, I was so confused that I dropped my iPad. I didn't even remember. I dropped my iPad, and I don't have a laptop, right? So I intended to be using that until I get a laptop, because my laptop got bad in Nigeria. Now I'm stranded because of that witch. Yes, she's a witch. So I dropped a lot of things. I kept on reweighing and everything. So finally it was 7 point something. I felt this girl would just let me go, because in her presence I was giving my sisters my things. Like, my sister was with me, right? I would give her a lot of things. So I felt this girl will have small sympathy, like conscience, and say, okay, I can pass. She did not still let me. She said it has to be 7 kg at the dot. At this point I was fed up, and like I changed it for her. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, have you seen me before? Why are you picking on me? What's with all this attitude? In my presence, you've allowed people with more than in this same situation pass, and you're making me stay here, making me weigh my bags. You've kept me here for over 2 hours, blah blah blah. So the girl was like, see me see trouble, oh, that she has not. Why am I asking her if she has seen me before? That she's just doing her job, oh, this one or that one, oh. last she did not still allow me to pass until it was 7 kg. Finally I passed. Then I joined the queue. They asked me for my vaccine, like the COVID card, passport, proof of my tickets. It was online, so I showed them the receipt. Then they pasted something at the back of my passport, told me to go to the next queue. So this time around I went to get my ticket. They reweighed my bags again. I got my ticket. So I got my ticket to my final destination from Port Harcourt Airport, right? I got 3 tickets, which was from Port Harcourt to Doha, Doha to Montreal, Montreal to Calgary. Then I got all that, left, went to say goodbye to my family. We hugged, tears here and there, you guys. I really miss my family. I'm not even going to lie. So after that, I left and came back into the airport. Then I went upstairs to immigration. Then the first lady that I met was like, where's my passport, all those things, where am I traveling to? I told her. She said, am I a student? I said, no. What are you going as? I told her. So she was inquisitive. She kept asking questions. Apparently she seemed interested, right? So I told her about the whole express entry thing. I told her so she can Google it. Obviously I didn't have the time to start explaining, so she was like, okay. She now wrote it down, like typed it on her phone. I was like, have a safe flight, anything for me. I said, I don't have cash, oh, sorry. She allowed me pass. Then I went to the next table. They obviously asked me, where are you traveling to? I told them Canada. They said, okay. Gave me a yellow card, told me to go somewhere else. I went there, filled it, they took it back, signed and all that, took my passport, looked at my face, told me to take off my mask to see that it was the same person and everything. Then I should go to the next table. So when I got there, they took my fingerprints, took a passport photograph of me. I was like, have a safe flight, bless us now. You are running away, oh. All of you are leaving us here, oh. Who will not stay here, oh? This one now. I said, okay, you'll be all right. Then I left to NDLEA. They searched my box for drugs, obviously. They didn't find anything. They closed the box back, asked me to bless them, tip them. I told them I don't have cash. Then I went to the next table. There they asked me how much do I have on with me, like how much am I traveling with? I said just 10 Canadian dollars. Man, I said I'm lying. Like it was like, will you even tell me the truth? I said honestly, that's all I have. I don't have cash with me. And I said, okay, anything for me, same anything for me, nothing for you, sir. I said, okay, you can go. Then I went straight down to where we were going to wait to board our flight. So I sat down there waiting. Then I just wanted to eat something. I realized they were not selling anything, like they didn't have food at the airport. So I don't know if it was because it was a public holiday or something. The only thing I could find basically was meat pie and drinks, snacks. So I bought meat pie and drink and Coke, had that. Then afterwards I went back to sit down to wait for boarding. So when it was time to board, we of course formed a queue and everything. Then they searched us. This time around they searched our bodies, our luggages, then let us go. Then we entered the aircraft. So I was sitting like the middle aisle and a middle seat. So the leg room was really much. You guys, Qatar Airways, their aircraft is really good. It's really nice and their service is top notch. I highly recommend. So the next thing, we took off to Abuja. So when we got to Abuja, more people followed us, like joined us rather. And then we waited for like an hour. Then we took off again to Doha this time around. So now the flight was full because initially it was like 60% capacity, right? So I had 2 guys beside me and everything. So we got talking and we're like, where are you going to? Where are you going to? So apparently we're all going to Canada. Then they asked me if I was a student or what's my, like, how am I going to Canada? I said, oh, PR. So they started hailing me, now you be boss, so all those things. Like, oh, thank you. Then I asked them, how are they going? Are they like students? Are they PR? They said no, that they are going via work permit. So apparently that was the first time I was hearing about this route. It's called Maple something. I can't really remember the name. So apparently they were sponsored to come and work in Canada for 2 years. Like they have 2 years work permit, right? So they were coming as is it meat cutters or something? I can't remember the profession per se. But you guys, there's dignity labor in Canada, so don't even try to say what's that one, because they make a whole lot of money. So apparently they sponsored their flight, like they paid for their flight, everything. So they were all going to Winnipeg, that's Manitoba, and they were like 10 of them, eight guys and 2 ladies. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So if it's something you're interested in, you can do your research about that. Yeah. So they said they applied in August and got approved in March, so it didn't even take time. Anyway, so we took off to Doha. The flight was really good. So from Abuja to Doha was like 6 hours, few minutes. They served us breakfast and lunch and dinner because it was late at this time, and everything. We gisted, watched movies. The in-flight entertainment was really good. Then when we got to Doha, when we came down from the plane, a bus carried us to like the entrance of the airport. So once we entered, they were like, if you know you have a connecting flight this way, if you know this is your last stop this way. So of course we all moved this way. We all had connecting flights and all that. Then when it got, so we were like on a queue. Then I realized that they used something, I don't know what that thing is called, to like touch the things I was holding, not my body, like my box, the envelope I had and everything. So I was wondering why they did that to me. So apparently later on I realized they did that to check for drugs. So I don't know why. Maybe because my eyes were really red because I was exhausted at the point. So maybe that was why they checked, because I noticed they didn't check other people. So we finally moved, like left to like sit down and everything. You guys, Qatar airport is so beautiful. Hey God, it is so beautiful and it's so huge. I don't know if it's because it's like yeah, the ones hosting the 2022 World Cup, I don't know, but that airport is cute, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's big, it's fine, anything you can think about. So after we got to where, like, found a place to sit, I went to freshen up, brushed my teeth and everything, and we had like 4 hours layover here in Qatar before we took off for Montreal. So after a while, we now decided to locate our gates. So we took a train for like few minutes to go to where our gate was. You guys, that was even when I saw the most beautiful part of the airport. I thought I had seen it all. You guys, that airport is, I can't just stop emphasizing on how beautiful the airport is. So we now got to our gates now. It was not time for us to board. We were on a very long queue, so a lot of people were going to Montreal, and they were more of foreigners than blacks, right? So it was like a ratio of 85 to 15%. So when it got to my turn, they asked me for my COPR, my passport, my vaccine card, that's my COVID vaccine card and everything. So they just searched some people thoroughly, while some they did not search. So as God will have it, they did not search me for once. So I left. I took my I showed them my tickets. Remember I told you I got all my tickets from Port Harcourt. I showed them my ticket, they let me pass and everything. And they asked, they said if you have a suitcase as your hand luggage, you should check it in. So I checked my box in and everything. Then we boarded the flight. You guys, the flight from Qatar to Montreal was for 13 hours 10 minutes. All along I didn't know how I was going to, like, usually, right, I have phobia for flights, so I was just, I don't even know how to explain it. Anxiety, everything was just eating up with me at that point. In fact, it started eating up with me few days after I got my ticket. So apparently when I got my ticket, I didn't even remember, I didn't even think about the flight time. All I wanted was, oh, I want to go from Port Harcourt, blah blah blah, and they said Qatar is good, so why not? It was few days later I realized that the flight time was over, as in the entire flight time to Calgary was over 26 hours, you guys. I'm like, I'll be up there for 26 hours now. So whenever I think about it, I get very, like, anxious, I get scared, I just start having like palpitation and all those things. So it was disturbing me until we landed finally. So we now finally boarded. Now the flight was way bigger. This one was very big and everything. They served us lunch, dinner, breakfast. I didn't enjoy any of the meal. If you watched my previous video, you can tell that I could not even eat it. It was only the alcohol and the desserts, one of the desserts I could have, and everything. The in-flight entertainment was very good. The leg room too was good for someone who is very tall. You guys, Qatar Airways, they are really good and all that. So finally 13 hours 10 minutes came to an end. Thankfully we landed in Montreal. Praise to God. We entered the airport. We're on a queue. The next is they're asking us for our Arrive Can. So Arrive Can is like an app. Arrive Can, that's CAN, can for Canada. It's an app where you fill in all your details pertaining to COVID-19 and all that. So you're supposed to fill that at least 72 hours before your flight. So once you're done filling it, you get a barcode, right? So that was what we showed at the airport. And so once you show yours, they'll let you pass. So I passed. Then the next thing, I went to join another queue. So they had like this machine where you fill in your stuff and scan your passport. Then a slip will like come out of the machine. It's not difficult, it's very easy. So once you do that, we now moved somewhere else. So they were like, people for PR this way, students work permit this way. So that's where I lost those guys. That was the last time I saw them. I went this way while they went this other way. Then I was on another queue. Then they said, okay, I have to fill in my information on that another machine so I could get my number. They're giving us numbers, so that with that number they will call you to attend to you. I don't know if that makes sense. So I did mine, got my number and everything. So I sat down and waited. So when they called my number, I stood up to meet I think they called them CBSA officer. Yeah, right. So I met my own officer. She took my COPR. So normally the COPR is 2 copies, right? One has your passport on it, the other one doesn't have your passport on it. So she took the one that had my passport photograph on it and gave me the other one, signed on it, asked me a few questions and everything. She asked me if I had goods accompanying, meaning what that means is that am I going to cargo anything at least from now till like a year? If yes, you're going to fill those things. So I filled the things that I felt I will be bringing into Canada later and they are worth. So what this means is that when you bring those things in, you're not going to pay duty for them. That's the essence of that. So she signed on it and everything. She was like, okay, whenever I bring the goods in, I should come with this paper that with that I won't pay duty for the items. So I said okay. Then she said I should go back to my seat, that she would call me later. I went back, sat down. A few minutes later she called me back, gave me my passport and everything. I was like, congratulations, you're now a permanent resident of Canada. I'm like, woo! I did not scream my dash. I was so excited. I was happy because I was anticipating to hear that. I'm like, oh, when I finally heard it, I'm like, Jesus, thank you. Finally, oh, this journey has come to an end, right? So I left there. Then I went to baggage claim. So apparently when you come via Montreal airport, you have to recheck in your bags again. Why they do that, I don't know. So I went back to baggage claim, carried my bag, put it in a trolley, and went back to recheck it. And you guys, this time around, I no pay for trolley. Trolley was free of charge. Nobody came to tell me, oh, trolley is $1, or trolley is this, or tip us, or anything for your girl. I did not hear anything like that. Nothing like that, obviously. So I took the trolley, rechecked my bags, and that was it. Then I left. The last ticket I had Qatar on it, right? So I went back to change the ticket to Air Canada because that was the flight I was taking from Montreal to Calgary. So when I changed it to Air Canada, they now searched us again, searched our hand luggages, used that thing they used to check for drugs, to check us. We entered the machine that scanned our body, everything. I left. My layover here was for 5 hours. So by the time I finished all those walkabouts and everything, I had less than an hour to board. And I went close to my gate so that it would be easy for me to board, right? So the next they started calling us to start boarding. So they were like, PRs and citizens this way, visitors this way. I went this way. I went, obviously I'm not a PR now, what do you mean? I went to our line. I went there. Then I said, okay, I should give them my card and my passport. I shall give them my COPR because I don't have my permanent resident card yet. So they were like, oh, have a nice flight and all that. Then we left. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. So usually, from other people's story, like most people that land in Toronto as their first port of entry, they usually ask you to give them the address where you want your PR card to be sent to. But in my case, they didn't ask me that. Rather, the lady gave me a paper that had a link and said I should follow the link and change my address by myself, like put in the address I want myself. I said, okay. It was strange to me, but I mean, she knows better, right? So I left, yeah. Then I boarded. We're just 2 blacks there, 2 Nigerians to be precise, and every other person was a white person on that flight. So it was for 4 hours. You guys, I don't understand how from one province, because in Canada it's called province, right? In Nigeria we call it state. From one province to another province via flight is over 4 hours. Like, I cannot fathom it. I understand that Canada is the 2nd largest country in the world, but why will the distance be that much? You guys, from one province to another province is as good as traveling from Canada to Mexico, or from Canada to Dominican Republic, or all this Caribbean, even the US. You get? So is I don't know. Canada is so large that's why they want people. One province is like the whole of Nigeria. So if you want to come to Canada, please come. There's enough space for everybody, basically. So they didn't give us food. They only give us a cup of juice. So they were selling every other thing. If you want any other thing, you buy on the flight. At this point, I was exhausted. I was tired. Oh God. I could not even watch anything. And mind you, I didn't sleep because obviously I have phobia, so I couldn't sleep. I was just waiting to land at this point. Like, I was so tired. After everything, it was now finally 4 hours and we landed in Calgary. Very beautiful scene. Like, when they announced that we'll be landing, first of all, when they said we'll be landing Qatar, you could see the beauty of the city. When we now entered to land Montreal, you could see the beauty. Oh Jesus, you could see beauty. Then when we now finally got to Calgary, like to land in Calgary, oh Jineke, oh goodness, you could see the beauty of God's nature. Like, you see the lights, everything so beautiful. Like, when you see it, like, you'll be anticipating to land. It's not like Nigeria. I'm not trying to compare, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not like Nigeria that from up there you'll be seeing brown roof, rusted roof, rubbish. Not even fine. That country, they need to do better. Anyway, so we landed Calgary and we didn't do any formalities, anything. We just went straight to claim our luggages rather. So we claimed our luggages. They had trolleys there free of charge. Nobody's harassing you to pay anything for trolley. You just pick your bags, put on the trolley, take it straight to where your car is, and off you go. So I did that, put my bags on the trolley, then went straight outside to wait for the person that came to pick me up, and I left and came back and came home. So yeah guys, that trip was amazing. Like, it was awesome. There was no turbulence. There was turbulence, but it was mild and it didn't occur so many times that the flight was smooth. Qatar Airways is really good. I don't know if I will stop saying this, but I really enjoyed the trip, even though it was very long. I won't even lie. So yeah, that was my experience traveling from Port Harcourt to Canada, like landing in Montreal as my first port of entry before getting to my final destination in Calgary. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, anything you would like to ask me, what kind of content you want me to put out. I will gladly do that. And please don't forget to like this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, you guys. come through for me. Give this video a big thumbs up, share with your loved ones. I mean, you never can tell, this video could be helpful to someone that wants to travel, like use the same routes that I used. Leave your lovely comments down below and subscribe. Obviously, we need to grow this family. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Do take care of yourself and remain beautiful. Bye.